Have you noticed that there are 100 million videos and articles about how to properly use ChatGPT, different tips and tricks for doing different kinds of prompt engineering, designed to get you the best result from the LLM? Well, I think we can fix this problem with a little redesign. If you're new here, hi, I'm Em. I have 10 years experience working in the tech industry, designing interfaces for humans to use very complicated algorithms. And I want to show you how a switch from conversational interfaces to spatial interfaces might fix all of these thorny problems. Now, if you're new to the design process, I totally understand. I got you. I broke my whole process down into steps so you can see where I'm coming from and how these ideas got to be, and then I will show you the prototype. Here is my process in 5 easy steps. Step 1 is observe. So this is ChatGPT, just as is. And the only thing we can really do here is add an input. So down here at the bottom, we're going to add our prompt. Help me create a YouTube video title for a video about redesigning ChatGPT that will help the video find an audience interested in AI, design, and technology. When we send the prompt into the model, we see that it responds with revolutionizing ChatGPT, a deep dive into AI, design, and technology transformation. So we can see that the interface records our inputs and outputs, then organizes them into a linear series based on the order that they were asked in, with each input followed by its own output. And that's it. The interface gives no other guidance for how best to use it. So we can see that conversational interfaces are approachable, but they don't teach users how to input the kind of structured data the algorithm is really looking for. Step 2 is research. And here I'm going to turn to an established software paradigm for inspiration: 2D spatial art editors like Figma, Illustrator, and Photoshop. These programs use a simple metaphor: tools, artboards, and layers combine to make something that the users can build a skill in. Specifically, users who don't necessarily have skills in interacting with structured data sets. One of the great things about Illustrator, for example, is the ability to compare between multiple iterations of a task. This is me working out a variety of different ways that I can use my logo design, for example. So our research says that these spatial interfaces enable comparison. So now we can structure a specific design question. In science, this would be called a hypothesis, but in design, we generally call this a how might we. So for example, today we're going to use how might we retain flexibility while improving legibility. Step 4 is my favorite part: experiment. We're gonna build a prototype. Ooh! Okay, so the first step in our prototype is just to take this input and output organization structure and make it more like what we saw in Illustrator. We're going to put each of the inputs and outputs in their own spatial section of the screen. Then as we go across, it enables us to compare the outputs for different inputs. But to take the metaphor farther, let's break down our prompts to see what kinds of methods we're using to improve our prompt engineering. Here we have mode, which includes teach me how to do something and also help me create something. We have topic, which for this prompt is redesigning ChatGPT. We have format, which is the YouTube video title, the kind of thing you're trying to make. And we also have audience, who this generated text is meant for, the YouTube algorithm, and also people interested in AI and design. So if we convert those prompt strategies into tools, we get this: mode, topic, audience, tone, format, and input. Are these the perfect tools forever and always? No, absolutely not. But they're a good starting point for us to explore how a spatial interface changes the way that we understand and interact with an LLM. So to start, I'm going to come up here to my new plus button to start a new prompt. We can see it looks just like before, where we have an input box and a send. We're going to just drag mode into the prompt box. And to see what our previous prompts would look like in this format, let's just completely copy them over. On the left, we have our make mode, and on the right we have our learn mode. In the make mode, the algorithm is simply giving us a specific title, and in the learn mode, it's teaching us about tips and techniques for making good titles on YouTube. It's now much easier to see both the differences in the outcomes and the differences in the inputs because we're using structured data. Here's another example. On the left, we have research, and on the right, we have create. We're asking the model to give us a video script, but in one, it's teaching us how to research our audience for that script, and in the other, it's giving us title, lines, and voiceover all written in a video script format. Let's move that over here and add a new prompt. You can see that it copies the existing tools from the previous prompt. But this time we're going to use one of ChatGPT's new skills by inputting an image. We're going to ask it to create for social media, on the topic of an artist selfie, a visual description that's fun and queer using this image. It says, picture a vibrant and vivacious queer artist ready to steal the spotlight on your local social media feed. This headshot exudes confidence, creativity, and unapologetic self-expression. But what if we don't like that tone? Let's move this prompt over here and duplicate it so that we can change the tone from fun and queer to serious and emotive. This time the model gives back, in this striking headshot we encounter a queer artist whose presence is both commanding and contemplative, a testament to their journey of self-discovery and creative expression. And step 5 is test. Except for, I don't really have anyone to test this on. Usually you would be working within a company where there are test users, which I do not have access to because I am just me. So instead we're going to use our imaginations. Use cases can really help us think through how people solving different kinds of problems might flow through the interface. What use case do you see working or not working with this interface? Thank you to my patrons for supporting this video. And if you have a thorny design problem you want me to take a shot at, let me know in the comments on Instagram or LinkedIn or over on my Patreon. And remember, all technology is made by people and we can make it better together.